Summary of Titus Andronicus by William Shakespeare. The play starts with the Roman general Titus Andronicus returning to Rome from a war against the Goths, bringing with him 3 prisoners, Tamora, queen of the Goths, her sons, and Aaron the Moor. Because the emperor of Rome has died, there is significant debate over who will be the new emperor. Saturninus and Bassianus, the late emperor's 2 sons, are at odds over the throne, while the Roman people back Titus as the future emperor. Titus declines owing to age and, speaking for the people of Rome, crowns Saturninus emperor. Titus executes Tamora's eldest son, Alerbus, in retaliation for the deaths of many of his children during the Goth War. As emperor, Saturninus declares that he will marry Titus' daughter Lavinia. However, Bassianus claims she was engaged to him. Titus' sons and brother Marcus support Bassianus, preventing Saturninus from marrying Lavinia. Titus is enraged because his sons are disrespecting the emperor, so he murders his son Nudius when he stands in his way. Saturninus, angry with the Andronicus family, marries Tamora instead of Lavinia. Tamora urges Saturninus to forgive Titus and his family, but she warns him that this is merely a ruse and that she is plotting revenge on Titus. Titus asks Saturninus and Tamora to accompany him and his family on a hunting expedition as a sign of peace. Aaron, Tamora's secret lover, convinces Demetrius and Chiron to rape Lavinia. He and Tamora plot retribution. During the search, Lavinia and Bassianus come upon Tamora and Aaron and realize that they are lovers. Demetrius and Chiron then murder Bassianus and abduct Lavinia. Aaron forges a letter to make it appear like Titus' sons Quintus and Marcius murdered Bassianus, and Saturninus believes it. He orders Quintus and Marcius to be seized as prisoners and executed. Marcus discovers Lavinia after she has been raped and had her hands and tongue severed by Demetrius and Chiron, but because she is unable to talk, no one knows who has done this to her. Titus begs his sons to be released from jail and to stand trial for the murder of Bassianus. Aaron informs Titus that the emperor would allow Quintus and Marcius to be released provided Titus sends one of his own men. Titus enthusiastically accepts and chops off one of his hands. Aaron, on the other hand, gives Titus the heads of his sons instead. Marcus then takes Lavinia to Titus, who witnesses her mutilation and anguish. He is so enraged that he orders his son Lucius to gather a Goth army and march on Rome. While Lucius is doing this, Titus eats with Marcus, young Lucius, Lucius' son, and Lavinia. Titus becomes outraged when Marcus kills a fly. When Marcus informs Titus that the fly was black like Aaron, he laughs and stabs it repeatedly. Lavinia, unable to talk, tries to explain what has happened to her by pointing to a copy of Ovid's Metamorphoses. This epic poem contains the account of Philomela, who was raped and had her tongue severed by the evil Tyrus. She refers to this section of the tale, and Titus understands she has been raped. He offers her a stick to write in the soil, guiding it with her lips, and she writes Demetrius and Chiron's names. Titus intends vengeance on Tamora and her boys. Meanwhile, Tamora gives birth to Aaron's kid, whose dark complexion suggests that Aaron and Tamora are lovers. Aaron arranges for a white infant to replace the child at court and takes his own child to the Goths, where he hopes to securely nurture it. Titus and his family shoot arrows with messages to the gods engraved on them, pleading to the gods for the restoration of the personified goddess Justice. Some arrows land in the royal court. Titus assigns a bystander to deliver a message from him to Saturninus. Saturninus is outraged after discovering several Andronicus family arrows. He assassinates the courier who delivers the message from Titus. Saturninus learns that Lucius is heading an army of Goths and becomes concerned because the Roman people favor Lucius. He sends a note requesting a meeting with Titus, Lucius, and himself, and Tamora travels to convince Titus to stop Lucius' invasion on Rome. Aaron gets seized by one of Lucius' Goths. Lucius intends to kill Aaron and his kid, but spares the latter in exchange for information. Aaron informs him about all that he, Tamora, Demetrius, and Chiron have done. a messenger from Saturninus arrives and informs Lucius of the intended meeting, to which Lucius accepts. Tamora, meantime, arrives at Titus costumed as the embodiment of revenge, accompanied by her sons, dressed as revenge's followers, rape and murder. She thinks Titus has gone insane and is duped by her disguise, but Titus knows her and her children. She urges Titus to invite Lucius to a feast and promises to bring Tamora and her sons to Titus so that he might wreak retribution. Titus consents, but requests that she leave murder and rape, Demetrius and Chiron, with him. Tamora departs, and Titus murders her boys. He collects their blood and grinds their bones into pies to offer to Tamora. Titus offers the pies to Tamora and Saturninus at the feast. He tells who raped Lavinia that Tamora is now eating her own sons, and that Lavinia is murdered because she has been dishonored. He then slays Tamora. Saturninus retaliates by murdering Titus, and Lucius avenges his father by killing Saturninus. Marcus and Lucius then address the Roman people, informing them of Aaron and Tamora's accomplishments and pledging to rebuild and restore Rome. Lucius becomes emperor and orders the assassination of Aaron. Marcus, Lucius, and young Lucius lament Titus' death and make arrangements for his suitable burial.
About the author. Shakespeare was born and raised in Stratford-upon-Avon, Warwickshire. He married Anne Hathaway in 1582, but left his family in 1590 to pursue a career as an actor and writer in London. Shakespeare was an instant success, quickly becoming the most popular playwright of his day and a part owner of the Globe Theatre. He produced most of his known works between 1589 and 1613. King James took his acting group and named them the King's Men in 1603. Shakespeare, a wealthy and powerful man, withdrew to Stratford-upon-Avon in 1613 and died 3 years later.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.